sorry for the last video. I'm sorry for raging, but I did find out something. I was actually going to the wrong biome, like wrong grassy plateau. So I grabbed a beacon and I went to a different one, and turns out it was actually that way, not that way. So I was technically going the wrong way. So we're actually gonna head over that way. Ooh, I'm inside of that. I also got more food. And let's just see. Oops. Let's just see how good we can do. I think it's probably 380 feet down. I mean, whatever. Down. Yeah. So we're gonna keep on going this way. So yes, I grabbed the beacon and I went over this way. I checked, yeah, this one I was like going this way because I saw another one and I was like, hold up, let me check over here. And turns out this one was the right one, which is really sad. All that time for nothing, and it was actually over here. Wow. Yeah, I saw this big old wreck. I was like, wow. I was like, let's keep on adventuring. And I randomly came up on this. So I was coming over here. Hold up. Wait for this game to load in, boy. Yeah, no. Go away. Thank you. Go away. Go away! So yeah, I was coming up and I saw that. I was like, oh, this is just perfect. Because this was the place I needed to go. So right now, we are already... Oops, that scared me. So we're already at this far down. And I'm like, yes! Because I find the place. But now I turn scared. And I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna die. So I go in here, I'm like, oh smack, there's so many of them. I'm like, yeah, I'm totally dead if I get out. So I'm trying not to get out of the vehicle. I'm like, oops. Why? Can't repair it down here. So I'm like, why? Where's the space with the multi-purpose room? So then I'm just venturing, looking at some places, and I find this. I'm like, is that a hint? Because it's pointing towards a place. And then I go over there and I find, I have no idea, I forgot. But then I find this. I'm like, oh. I'm like, maybe I should follow the end of this. And then I start following the end of this, having no idea where I'm going at all. And then I find another one of these. This time it's pointing this way. And I'm like, how can I go over here? It's a dead end. And then that's whenever I get stuck in this place because I have no idea where I am. Which scares me. Because I'll eventually die. Because I didn't bring any food and water. Oops, I forgot to do that. So then I'm like sitting here like, oh my gosh, how do I get out of here? Searching around. Is you following me? Yes, it was following me. I'm like, hold up, what is this? And I'm like, oh, let's not go down there. So then I head over here. And then I find the same thing again. I'm like, what is this? So then I start to head out. Because I have no idea where I'm going. And are you following me again? Whoa. So So then I'm like, okay, I'm out of this place. This may be the wrong way. And then it was the wrong way. So then I'm like, how do I get out of this place? Me trying to figure it out right now. So as I'm heading out, I have a feeling that that was actually the right place. So now I keep on looking around. So as I start looking around, I feel more like this is gonna actually be the place. But you know, I have no idea. I do think I am close to the Aurora. Let me... I'll be right back. Alrighty. So as I'm still looking around, I'm like, where could this place possibly be? And I hear a Reaper. I'm going the other way. And that was not in my story. So as I'm going this way, I'm like, where the crap could this place be? So then, I want to go down and grab my thing. Let me actually do that right now. Oh my gosh, after we get rid of this kid, we'll go down after we grab this. After we, you know, get rid of this dude. So then I start running out of battery. And I'm like, oh smack, oh my gosh! Leave me alone, dude. And then I find a random place. And I'm like, hold up. What is this place? So I want to go down and adventure it. And then I realize it's blood kelp. I was like, oh no, I better get out of here. But then I don't want to. Because I find ruby. So I want to go grab the ruby.
Oxygen efficiency decreased.
And then I want to look around more. So then I put on my rebreather. Yes! I can actually do that. Okay, so now I'm like, what am I gonna do now? I have the whole entire world. No, not really. Okay, now I have no idea where I'm headed. Oh my gosh, it scared me. So I'm like, wait, this may not be the right place either. So, you know, I'm still looking around, like always. Trying to avoid them things. And I want to head this way. But I do think this way is the void. So, you know, I'm trying to be careful around here. And I'm like, yeah, that's the void. Let me turn it there real quick, guys. So I'm like, hold up, maybe this is not the void. But then I'm still going, I'm like,
a cave system rich in fossilized remains beneath this area.
And I'm like, wait, this has to be the void. Then I keep on going and I turn around because I'm scared. Like always. As I'm looking around over here, I start to go up because I'm scared. And you guys would probably be scared too. to go into a random biome, not knowing what could be in there, you know. And I go over here, I'm like, where am I at? And then that's whenever I start going home. And now I'm like, I'll never find this place. And I didn't give up. I kept on looking. Why? Because I wanted to find this place. So I can show you guys me in survival finding this place. And I'm like, come on, dude, where could this place possibly be? It can't be much further. But then I come over here and I find this. I'm like, hold up, this is jelly shrimp. So then I start going down there, and it does very well look like it, because yes, it is it. Okay, so now I'm like, hold up, where's the multi-purpose shrimp? I'm like, hold up, let me go back to my base. And I went back, started going live, and I'm like, yes, this is the place, I think. And then I'm trying to find the little base they built, but I can't find it. I'm like, are we okay here? So I'm trying to look around for the exit again. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I lost it. And I'm trying to look for my other beacon, seeing if I was at least near it. And turns out I couldn't find it. So I kept on looking around. And then I'm like, where is this beacon at? So I have no idea. And then I just keep on running around. I'm like, hold up, this has to be the same cave. And looky over here. It is, I think. So then I come over here and I'm like, hold up. I think this is the same cave. And then I'm starting to think it is too. As I'm still looking around, I realize this is the same cave. So I'm like, oh wow. And I want to exit, but I really don't too. I also don't want to. Then I go looking again. I'm still looking for that base. And I'm like, where could this possibly be? Then I get scared of all the noises. I'm like, oh no. But I don't leave. I keep looking. Woo! So then I venture down here and I'm like, this may be where it could be. So as I'm still venturing, I'm heading down to my max, where I can't go anymore. And I'm like, where is this place? And then I find this, I'm like, scary. And then I start going over here. And then I keep on finding these. Like, why else would them be here? If there's not a base, right? So then I'm making a plan. Like, so if that's there, where would the ship, where would the place be? So I'm like, oh my gosh, where is this place? So as I'm still waiting, making a plan, I go to look it up. But then I'm like, where could this be? I'm like, oh my gosh, where could this be? Where could this be? And then as I'm looking it up, I'm like, hold up. I'm like, just looking around like, gosh, I don't know where it is. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, this is never gonna work. I'm never gonna find it. So I'm still looking around. And I'm like, my battery's getting low. But you know, who cares? Because I'm really tempted to find this place. But you know, if you can't find it, go home and charge your thing. So I'm like, I should probably go charge my thing before I do anything else. But I want to go venture this place. So I get out and do it. But then I realize there's nothing in here. So then I go over here, check over here. There's also nothing in here. So I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I do? So now I go over here. I think I went over here. And then I'm like, I want to grab it. So I look around. I see nothing near me. So I hop out real quick, try and grab it. Almost get attacked. Hop right back in real quick. I'm like, I gotta read that. But as I'm looking,
short-range scans show a cave system rich in fossilized remains beneath this area.
Oops, I was not trying to click that. So then I'm like, come on over here. And I'm like, I gotta get closer to my screen to read this. So as I'm looking, getting closer, so I'm looking around and like, use polyturbines, requested cross references of location, environmental scans, ideal habitat construction conditions, displaying results. Large subterranean cavern with multiple entrances, conditions support unique micronism predator, I can't even read, okay, life forms, minor structural and cave walls, intensive resource deposits, yes. Average environmental safety rating, C. I have no idea what that means. Augmental habitat site safety rating, B. I have no idea what that means as well. Site 7 has been selected as a optimal habitat construction site for the following reasons. Close proximity to one of the cave entrances in case of emergency. Medium distance from predatory organism. Like, wait a second. So, medium distances from them, guys. So then, like, stable foundations on which to build ready accesses to materials. A signal tracking the site has been created. I'm like, so it's far away, right? So I'm like, now I'm getting pretty confused. And I find my, oh, yo, Okay, that was kind of a risk. Oops. What the crap? So I'm like, I'm never gonna find this place. So I want to go back home, right? Then I want to get out, but I'm like, how do I get out? And I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I'll never find this place. So I want to get out. So I'm like, okay, I'm getting out before I die. Well, before my sea mouse gets destroyed. And I'm like, where's the exit of this place? And I'm like, oh my. And I gotta go, I gotta run. Cause I'm trying to find the beacon and find it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm out of here. So I'm just running for my life, like always. And I'm like, how do you get out again? How do you get out again? And then I figure out, I'm like, oh, here it is. Well, so I'm getting out and wanting to repair my little... Oh no, I thought I couldn't make it there. So I'm like, okay, I better run home. So I'm just gonna run home like a normal human being. And I'm gonna realize, like, where's that rock? Like, what? So now I'm heading home with a 27% thing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? And also with a 45% battery charge. I'm like, I'm gonna run out of battery soon. Or I'm like, rather I'm gonna run out of battery or it's gonna get destroyed. So I'm like, I'd rather run out of battery than get it destroyed. Cause if it gets destroyed, I have no protection against some of the animals that might come after me. If y'all guys know what I'm saying. So I'm like, oh my, I better hurry up. So I'm heading home. And I finally get there. I'm like, oh, I finally got there. And then I realized there has to be some place where I can get that multi-purpose room. And I'm like, the Grand Reef. I have no idea where that is. So then I'll meet back up with you guys whenever I find it right now. So yeah guys, peace.